Freezing. Night, bitch. It's been years since I threw my life into the back of a moving pod and watched my hometown disappear into the rearview mirror. At the time, I told everyone that it was a grand, beautiful new adventure. But looking back, it was chaotic, expensive, emotional mess. I remember the exact moment I realized that if I stayed, I was going to turn into a version of myself that I no longer recognized. I remember feeling stuck and feeling like I had no purpose and felt like there wasn't really anything to this life. Like I had reached my cap on what I was able to do in the surroundings I was in. So we bought a one-way ticket. Without a safety net except for my husband, we just had a lot of hope and a lot of heavy suitcases. People see me now and they see the success story, right? Of the person who got out. But looking back at the versions of me that I had to kill off in order to get here, can I bitch for a second, please? Because the moving process was a nightmare. And the goodbye was the longest, roughest week ever. Today, we are looking back at the one-way ticket. Why I left, what I lost, what I've learned, and why I'll never go back. Let's talk about the hidden cost of living, the security deposit trap. It was a humbling experience when I realized that moving out of state meant paying a first month's rent, last month's rent, security deposit, pet rent. I'm sorry. Let me just hand over $5,000. No problem. Not like it was my 3 months worth of life savings just to get a key. Okay. Nope. There it goes. So easily gone. Like, are we kidding? Then we have the starting at zero tax, right? Because when you move, you lose your girl or guy, depending. You lose your trusted nail tech and lash tech. You lose your hair girl that you've been going to since you were 14. You lose your guy. You lose your trusted mechanic who gives you the cheapest deal and doesn't bullshit you and give you the runaround and make you pay for a whole bunch of useless shit. Or your friend who can help you move a couch in exchange for a pizza pie and a six-pack. Everything costs hundreds of dollars more because you have no connections here. Not to mention, everything in the service industry is significantly more expensive down here. Like, can we talk about how I used to be able to get a full set of pink and white acrylics and a pedicure for less than $80? Now, I cannot even get a fill-in for less than $100. These prices are astronomical. Highway robbery. Grand larceny, okay? Then there's the good old salary gap, where you're moving for the better job, but the price of living is absolutely eating every cent of that raise that you're getting. I will say, though, that we left New York paying $1,900 for a one-bedroom, small-ass box of an apartment. And we moved down south to a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. So we have significantly more space and a backyard. We ended up paying $1,600 for a 3-bed, 2-bath house. Other than that, and the price of gas being significantly cheaper down here, everything else you need to pay for in order to survive as a human being, expensive as hell. When you go back to visit your hometown, people expect you to be the 18-year-old version of you. They expect you to be in the exact same place that you were at when you left them. But when you don't fit that mold anymore, they take it as an insult. Then you outgrow conversations, realizing that when you sit down with old friends, the only thing you have in common is, remember when this happened? Like, if you take away the memories and reminiscing, you have nothing left to talk about. Like, there is nothing in common with these people anymore. Then you reach the guilt of missing out, being the one who isn't or can't be there for all of the important events in life. Like, it's no longer easy to travel home for birthdays and baby showers and weddings or funerals. You deal with the "must be nice to get out of this hellhole" comments from your family, and it sure as hell is. You realize how the convenience of living in the same state was the only thing holding your certain friendships together. Leaving your hometown revealed who your true friends were, who was just a friend out of pure convenience. Suddenly, the phone stops working both ways. Yours stops ringing, and you're tired of being the only one ever putting in effort or reaching out anymore. As an only child to divorced parents, you are essentially the glue that is keeping your family together. I only ever left my parents when I was 18 and went away to college, and then again at 20 when I went away to the Disney college program. So this time, leaving felt a lot more permanent and a lot more scary. You start to worry constantly because you notice your parents are starting to get older and they're both living alone without you. You feel such immense guilt, especially when your worries are coming true and you are thousands of miles away during a life-altering medical event. I was states away when my dad had gone missing. I got the call that my dad had been missing for hours. I had tried to call him so many times and he didn't pick up. So I had to call the cops. They ended up finding him at our local hometown pizzeria that we always went to, and he's taken to the hospital. My dad forgot where he was driving, and I had to take his independence away. I had to take away his ability to drive because it was no longer safe for him to drive anymore. No one knows what that does to a person when you have to make that call for your parent, realizing that it is no longer safe for them to do the thing that they've been doing since they were 16 and stripping away their independence as they know it, or they don't really know it, because you have to lie to them and say, oh, you're just going to this place for a little bit. We'll get you out soon. And then your dad is on the phone with you crying, saying, Ash, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. On the phone, when he got to the hospital, my dad called me and told me he was driving to work, which sounds normal, what he's always done. But unbeknownst to me, he had gotten fired weeks prior to that. And He has no recollection of that. The cops also tell you over the phone that your dad's license has been suspended and he hasn't had insurance in months. His insurance lapsed months ago. And again, he thought that he had just renewed it. I felt so bad that I couldn't be there for him when he was first admitted to the hospital. He was so confused and he had no idea what was going on or what was coming. This incident was the start to an early onset dementia diagnosis. I felt that immense guilt and pit in my stomach every day until my dad passed away 2 years later from an even worse medical event, cancer. Let's move on to a lighter note, shall we? The new city reality check. The part that no one admits because they want to look successful to the people at home. And there is so much I can't go back pressure. And it's like an intense fear of failing in your new city. And having to move back home into your parents' house sounds like a nightmare. The real bitch here is the pressure to pretend like you're thriving even when you're struggling. There's loneliness in anonymity. In your hometown, everyone knows your business. Everyone knows where your dad works, who you married, what's new, where you're going to college. But when you move into a new city, no one knows you exist. That transition is brutal. Trying to make friends is nearly impossible. Like, obviously, growing up, you've had friends that you've known since like kindergarten, and they have obviously known you forever. And now you have this. It's like a blessing and a curse to have such a clean slate. You're a person no one knows, who isn't judged based on their past, who they dated in 6th grade, or all of the poor choices that they've made in high school. They only know you from that day forward, not your backstory. It's refreshing, but it's also terrifying. Can I just say it's also a full-time job maintaining your long distance life. Like, you have to spend every ounce of PTO and every spare dollar traveling back home because you're the one who left and no one lets you forget it. You feel like a tourist in the place that you grew up. When did this ice cream place open? When did that store in the mall close down? Like, you don't recognize the streets that used to turn down every single day. It is crazy. Then your circle of friends shrinks because you are watching your childhood best friend's life through a screen and realize you're suddenly just Instagram followers. You are just Facebook friends, and that is where your friendship lies. Online, and that's it. But you have to remind yourself that you did this for a better life and for a better life for your future family. Now, was the one-way ticket worth it, you ask? Yes, it was. It was worth every penny spent. It was worth every struggle and every tear. I really learned how strong I am and how my strength is my independence. I go out to eat by myself. I go to concerts by myself. I travel by myself. And I think that's an only child problem. I'm not really sure, but you have to learn how to be content in your own space and be content in your own company. Like, when you're trying to rebuild your life and rebuild your friend circle, You essentially have you, your husband, your dogs, and that's it. And so you have to learn how to entertain yourself outside of those things. And it has been extremely therapeutic sitting in my own silence, being with myself, being my own best friend before I made new best friends. I was taught to slow down because people here are in no rush whatsoever, like zero sense of urgency to get anywhere, right? So I had to slow down in traffic and in life and really just learn how to not be in rush. Learn time management. That's a new fucking concept to me. Still working on it. Still working on it to this day. It's been 5 years. I've learned to be more present, to stop and enjoy the view. Like the sunsets here are incredible. Even at night when I'm in bed and I'll look outside and see that the moon and the stars is literally lighting up the entire sky. Like you do not need a flashlight to go outside and see where you're going. So I just walk outside and I look up at the moon and look up at the stars, and I'm just present, and I just thank God for this beautiful place that He's blessed me with. I sit and I'm present with nature and just listen to all of the sounds of nature, and it's been a really beautiful experience. I am able to enjoy the money I make and not just live to pay my rent or pay my bills. Home is a place you leave, not a place that you stay. If you stay in a place that shaped you, you're often reacting to an environment rather than creating one. Moving forces biological friction. You have to learn to get to new places and map things out and remember where you're going. And you have to make friends from scratch. You have to survive without a safety net. And this friction is what's going to build resilience. You don't know what you're capable of until there is no one to catch you. You have to be put in uncomfortable situations like moving and meeting new friends in order to grow as a person. I've been gone for years, and every time I go back, I realize that the town didn't change, I did. And that's the point. Home is where you start, but it shouldn't be where you end up. It's okay to love where you're from and appreciate how far it's taken you in life, but realize that you just don't belong there anymore. It's not betrayal, it's just growth. If you're thinking of making the move, just do it. You will thank yourself so much later, and you'll become a better person for it. If you feel stuck, if you feel like there's no purpose in life, and if you feel like how I felt, chances are you need a change of scenery. You should put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and move away from your hometown. You will be so glad that you did. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Can I Bitch podcast. New episodes come out every Thursday. Please continue to subscribe and like this video on YouTube. Leave a comment and let me know what you relate to most on these episodes. Please keep leaving comments on Spotify and reviews on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the visibility of the show. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. See you next week. Let's bitch again soon. Toodles, Neil.